Hey guys, so I have about maybe 10 minutes to figure out dinner for tonight. So I just went to the yard and I grabbed a bunch of stuff. So let me show you what I'm making. So I picked up my two little sad broccolis, but that's okay. I'm very proud of them. And I also gathered these beautiful heads of cauliflower. They're supposed to be purple, but I will take it. My greenhouse blew away. There's a whole bunch of stuff that happened in the garden. I just wanted to show you these. Oops. So I'm going to be combining this along with everything in here. So this is some mustard green that I picked up. I've got a bunch of kale. I think this is either red boar or this is scarlet. I've already washed everything. This is my mizuna. I have this one and I have one that's pink stemmed. Oh, that's orach mountain spinach. And oh, here's one where it's kind of purpley pink stemmed. That's also another mustard green. And I literally have thrown everything in there. I've got some oregano and thyme. That these stems are like nice and soft still. They haven't gone all woody. So I'm just throwing the whole thing in. And let's just get this in the food processor. So I've thrown in my blade in here and I'm just cramming everything into here. So because I don't have a whole lot of cauliflower going on, these are actually the leaves from the cauliflower plant. So I've just thrown them in as well. I gave some to the dogs and the rest is for us. So I'm just throwing in, I've got a tiny little bit of parsley, but whatever I could scrounge around from the yard is going into this. Now I've got to get my nuts. So I went to the farm little shack where I normally kind of do my grocery shopping for the week outside of what I've grown in the yard. And I picked up these turnips, so I'm just going to throw them in whole. I also am going to put in some walnuts, and I found this at the back of the fridge, so I don't know if it's good or not. I'm going to check. And I can't. Oh yeah, I thought I couldn't open it with one hand. And yep, tastes perfect. I'm gonna throw this in here and we are gonna make a garden pesto. So anytime that I go shopping or we visit a new town or if there's new stuff in town that kind of happens to open, I always hit those places up first. So Olivia's is an oil store. So if you look up in this is my spices. And I generally keep all of my olive oils or flavored olive oils up there. And then depending on the bottle, most of them can't even fit in here. It's not tall enough. But up here, I've got a basil. I've got a smoked olive wood. This one is delicious. It's got nice smoky tones in it. This Tuscan herb, I use it on my pizza. I use it on my burger buns, my hot dog buns. Basically, I can't remember what I don't use it on, but as far as baked goods, oh, anything like sweet. So all of my savory stuff, for the majority of it, goes in here. I've got an avocado oil, and then I've got some balsamic vinaigrettes back here. But for this time, I think I'm gonna use a basil oil because, well, I'm making a pesto. And I've also got my nutritional yeast. So I'm just gonna put this together. I'm gonna blend it down a little bit just to give it a few times. And I've gotta find the top to this. I'm gonna try and do this with one hand. You can hear, oh, there we go. And it's plugged in, power on. Oh, hang on. I gotta fix something, hang on. It always helps if you have two hands. So I'm just gonna condense this down a little bit. So I'm just gonna pulse it. And it's not going anywhere. So let's open this guy up and smush it down a bit. And just to add liquid, I'm gonna add some of my almond milk. So even though I sweeten this almond milk with dates, I'm okay to have this. It doesn't come out super sweet, so I'm okay to have a little bit of that sweetness in this pesto. Much better. Okay, now we're rolling. So for this is what it looks like. And it's just any greens. Pesto doesn't have to be, you know, only basil and only garlic. Be creative. This is the time where you can have fun in the kitchen and experiment. So I am going to put a little bit of olive oil, and it drips out really slow because this is meant to kind of drizzle on everything, and I just don't feel like taking out the spout. So I'm going to do about 2 tablespoons worth. And we're done. And I'm also going to add some hemp hearts because that's going to add some nutrients, and I'm going to add the nutritional yeast and then also some walnuts. So 2 big handfuls of walnuts, and these are just whole walnuts. And then I'm going to let this guy do all the work, and I'm going to only have 1 container that's dirty. That's the other great thing about this. Once you get it to the flavor that you want, you're done. And the nice thing about this is, as you're making it in here, if you want a little salty, if you want to add a couple of things, you're putting everything in here and only getting this and dirty. So it's a nice it's an easy way to make a quick sauce. So I'm just going to take this off and just push everything down. And it's still quite fine, kind of like a quinoa. And I need it more creamy. So I need to add more liquid. So I'm going to put in a little bit more of my almond milk, and I will be right back. Because I'm trying to do this with one hand, I can't show you everything. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this whole block and cut it down to little pieces like that, because I want this to be a creamy kind of type pesto. And all I'm going to do is cut that whole block that I have into little pieces like this. I'm going to add a little bit more water, about a little bit more almond milk, and then we're going to blend it. So we're getting closer. Now I'm going to put in my nutritional yeast, and we're going to taste test. So I just added 6 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. Now, I love nutritional yeast. If you are not a fan, you could always do shredded cheese or any basically dairy type cheesy product. But I like the cheesy flavor that it gives off without having to actually consume cheese. But I also have cream cheese in here, so I'm okay with it. So I'm just gonna blend this up. Oh my gosh, I just licked off the spatula and it tastes fantastic already. Okay, so I have not added any seasoning to this whatsoever. It will always have a little bit of a grainy kind of texture to it, because unless you were to literally, I guess, mill this, it's never gonna be a super, super creamy sauce, and that's okay. But I have not added any salt, no pepper, no seasonings, nothing. Outside of that basil olive oil, I haven't added a single thing to this, and I'm not. It tastes fantastic. So you can easily convert this into a really, really thick salad dressing, or you can heat it up and put it over pasta, which is what we're going to do tonight for supper. I'm going out, but my husband's going to be at home, and he's going to feed this to the kids, and easy dinner. It took me maybe about 15 minutes to do this with all the filming.